This video is sponsored by Nobleman Protective Gear. If you have the habit of hanging out in e-skate Facebook groups, I bet you have seen a variety of meme ads by Beastboard. Well, Beastboard is a newer Chinese brand looking to get some traction in the market. As is always the case, you can expect good value for your money from a brand trying to establish its name, as long as you can also stomach the uncertainty when it comes to after-sales service. Today, we are reviewing the Beastboard Viper, a $600 electric skateboard that packs a lot of punches. To get a clear picture, let's run through the specs real quick. The Beastboard Viper uses a 7-layer Canadian maple generic deck that's commonly found on entry-level boards in the $400 range. It has only a little bit of flex to it and has zero concave. While the Viper uses generic trucks, the wheel it uses is anything but generic. Windwheel, it's called. These unique 110mm wheels are the highlight of the board and the most memorable part of the brand. It has a honeycomb look that might make some uncomfortable, but promises a comfortable ride. More on that later. As for the electronics, the Viper uses a 12S Hobbywing ESC, which means it comes with the latest Hobbywing remote that can read board telemetry. For the battery, it rocks a beefy pack of 12S 4P 432 watt-hour batteries, but then cuts costs by going with generic 25R cells. Well, I can't complain, they have to make the price work somehow. This gives the Viper a marketed range of 22 miles or 36 kilometers, but we could only hit 20 miles or 33 kilometers in our test. Still very good. The Viper also uses a good pair of 60-65 motors that were rated at 750 watts each. This gives a marketed top speed of 28 miles per hour or 46 kilometers per hour. We almost hit that top speed, just missed it by a hair, so almost. In short, you can think of the Beastboard Viper as a budget board on steroids. The skate parts are pretty generic, but the 12S 4P battery with corresponding 12S Hobbywing ESC are specs you expect to find on a board over $800. This duo promises great performance on both power and range. The remaining question would be on the riding experience, so let's start with what the weird wind wheels bring to the table. The wind wheels are Beastboard's proprietary wheels that have this squishy honeycomb pattern. Individually, they are priced at $159 per set. We were frankly very cynical of the wind wheel design before the test and were expecting it to be just a gimmick. After all, the design isn't very elegant, and putting holes into the wheels to make them soft seems to be such a primitive idea. As it turns out, wind wheels are exactly what they were designed to be. 110mm wheels that take away bumps and cracks on the road. We think they are even better than cloud wheels when it comes to softening the ride on rough roads, making the Beastboard Viper a very comfortable ride on rough roads even when the stiff deck doesn't contribute anything to vibration dampening. Some might say the ride is as comfortable as the wrist guards made by Nobleman. If you are going off-road, you probably want to gear up. While we have no way to know how much safer Nobleman's protective gear is when compared to others, after all, even if it's Kevlar, does that matter much? What we do know is that Nobleman's gear is a lot more comfortable than generic protective gear, especially when it comes to something like the wrist guard that's not worn over your clothes. Check out Nobleman Protective Gear, link in the description below, or visit noblemantech.com. Now, let's get back to the wind wheels. The wind wheels have a fairly narrow surface area for contacting the ground, meaning that they will spin out when starting from a standstill in some off-road situations. However, the surface area is definitely big enough for most grass, gravel, and dirt road situations. While the wheels are a highlight, the other skate parts are pretty average. Paired with the wheels are a set of generic reverse kingpin trucks that are decent. Carving with the Viper is not as fun as carving on something with branded trucks and a flexi deck. The deck also doesn't have any concave to it, so our feet don't feel the deck as well as we would like. While the skate parts are pretty average, we like the electronic parts that the Beastboard Viper uses. The 12S Hobbywing ESC gives the perfect smoothness in speed control that everyone expected it would. Pairing a 12S ESC with big motors gives the board a super powerful torque too, to the point where you need to be careful hitting the throttle when riding on the highest mode. Just because it's smooth doesn't mean it doesn't pack a huge punch. While the 12S 4P battery pack is not using the most amazing cells, generic 25R, just by the virtue of their large size, we didn't notice much voltage sag on this one. So, to summarize, the Beastboard Viper for the price of $599 will get you an amazingly spec'd board that has amazing torque, good range, and smooth speed control. It's a semi-AT board that can handle the roughest roads and can occasionally go off-road as well. If that's what you want, and you are willing to, 1, put up with average skate parts, which is something you can tinker with yourselves, and 2, be amongst the first customers of a new brand, Beastboard Viper is a great deal. It indeed is a beast of a board. As always, if you are looking to buy a Beastboard, or actually any e-skate, be sure to use our affiliated discount code with the link below. It will help you get a small monetary discount and helps us out too. You'll also be tagged as an Electric Skateboard HQ customer and probably be treated better. Ride safe, guys.